Question 12. Here we have to find the value of the cube root of 8 times 10 to the power of 6. I would find this question really difficult, so instead you are allowed to break it up into 2 bits and do the cube root of 8 times the cube root of 10 to the power of 6. Cube root of 8 is okay, we know the answer to that, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. The cube root of 10 to the 6 is fiddly, so I would think 10 to the what times 10 to the what times 10 to the what, because it's a cube, is 10 to the 6. And clearly, we add the indices, 2 add 2 add 2 is 6. So the cube root of 10 to the 6 is 10 to the 2. And remembering our laws of BIDMAS, we'll do 10 squared first, 100, times 2, giving me my final answer of 200 for full marks. Looking at part B, we've got to do 144 to the half times 64 to the power of minus a third. No way could I do that question in one go, so I'd be tempted to split it up. Now I've got a little way of remembering fractional powers. I always think of making the bottom number into a football and kicking it over a fence. Useful way of remembering it. And when the ball hits the ground, it bounces back up again. So we're looking for the square root of 144. Nice and easy, we've got 12. We've now got to deal with 64 to the power of minus a third. We have a choice. We can either deal with the minus first or the 3 first, and it doesn't matter, but I'd like to think of the minus first. Let's deal with that. Again, a useful way of remembering it is minus. Sounds like miners who work underground. We'll put the 64 underground alongside the third. The miners have disappeared. They're quite happily working underground. Very unsafe job though, so sum 1 stays above ground to make sure they're all okay. Then we can remember to have a game of football with the 3. The cube root of 64. Again, it takes a little bit of time. I would think, is it 3? Is it 3 times 3 times 3? No, that's 27. That's a bit too low. Is it 5 times 5 times 5? 125. That's too high. Eventually, you'll get that it's 4. But we mustn't forget it's 1 over 4 because of the miners working underground. And we've just got to finish the sum by thinking I've got to do 12 times a quarter, and a quarter of 12, 4's into 12, go 3. Part C of this question is the really fiddly bit. We've got to realise 25 and 125 can both be written as powers of a different number. 25 can be written as 5 squared. I'll put that in brackets. We've still not dealt with the 2x, so we'll pop that outside the brackets. And we know it's equal to 1 over 125, and it'd be nice if the same bases, if the bases were the same, and 125 can be written in terms of 5 to the power of 3. We're nowhere near finished with the question yet. 2 and the 2x, if we remember our laws of indices, we do 2 times them when it's brackets, so we get 5 to the power of 4x equals. Here we have 1 over 5 cubed. The miners are very happily working underground. They all come above ground and they become very grumpy. Minus 3. So 1 over 5 cubed can be written as 5 to the power of minus 3. The bases are the same. We can drop those. 4x is minus 3, so x is minus 3. Now we had 4 of them. We don't want that. We'll move that to become a divide by 4. So minus 3 over 4, the answer to that question.